From the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway is where we're going to have round number 5 of PSES Xfinity Series. I'm Rick James, here to bring you uninterrupted green flag coverage of every single lap of racing in the Queen City, brought to us by MoreThanACape.org. Brian Smith and Nick Gowan starting on row number 1, with Brian Smith with that pole in that lime green 61. Ed Scherer in the number 18 Napa Know-How Toyota right behind him. Nick Gowan now making his way to the front. Tristan Bailey in the interesting colored number 20, well, it says 24 there, but that's 53 on the side of that Exalta hot rod. No, that's Jamie Hayes, I'm sorry. There's Tristan Bailey in the 24. Jason Keffer right behind him in the 33. Bobby Reynolds in the number 10. Chevy Camaro starting on the outside of row number 5. The lone Canadian in today's race, Adam Rowe, rocking the number 84 Chevrolet. Mo Bennett in the number 2, sitting just on the outside of row number 6 in that Pepsi Chevrolet. They call him Mellow Yellow in the number 54, Mellow Yellow Chevrolet. Michael Kenzel starting 13th. There at the front, Nick Gowan in that 88 car as the pace car peels off. Coming to the green flag, getting ready to start 115 laps at Charlotte. Green flag is out, let's go racing. One lap complete with the leaders side by side. Brian Smith in the 88, Nick Gowan to the outside. Brian Smith in the 61, Nick Gowan to the inside in the 88. Very reminiscent of that number 3 Coca-Cola ride that the Earnhardts took to fame. The 61 of Brian Smith behind him. Edward Scherer. Is that Scherer or Scherer? I'm not sure. Sitting 3rd in the number 18 Supra. Right behind him, Jamie Hayes Haynes in the number 53 Exalta Chevrolet, and behind him, Tristan Bailey in the number 24 Chevy, rounding out the top 5. It's all Chevrolets from 4th all the way down to 20th, where you'll find Debbie Hutchins in the number 82 Ford Mustang, bringing up the back of the top 20. 24 cars in total, with Connor Cunningham bringing up the rear in the number 3. Looks like Nito Tires Chevrolet. No, I've got that wrong. JDR Chevrolet. Couldn't see that from here. At the front, however, 4 laps underway. Nick Gowan leading this race confidently in the 88 with 2 Supras behind him. Jake Smith now cracks the top 5. He gets around Cole Martin in the number 16. Jake cracks that first 5, chasing down Tristan Bailey in the number 24. Smith up 4 spots since the start of this race in the SRR Chevrolet, bringing up the points so far. There you can see Tristan Bailey running in the 4th position points-wise, and there's a crash behind him. Cole Martin going around. What's gone on with Martin back here so far? Nothing seeing whatsoever, and it looks like Martin's just fallen well off the pace. Cole Martin being scored in 6th. Not sure if it was a blink or what, but now Brian Smith to the front through turn 3. Big shout out to Cocky 23, Atlanta Racing. My man Atlanta in the chat. Good to have you here, buddy. Obviously, More Than a Cape and the good folks at MoreThanACape.org bringing us this race today. Vols Fan 88, love you too, pal. Glad to have you here as well. If you've just recently joined us, I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of this thrilling race. So far, it's Smith, Scherer, Bailey, your top 3. Gowan kicked back to the 4th spot, and Jacob Smith now with crosshairs on the back of the 88 Chevrolet. .115 laps of scheduled distance if you haven't found out on the left-hand side. Driver's going to be able to go about 40 to 50 laps on one pit window, depending on what will give first, the tires or the fuel. Cole Martin in the number 16 Chevrolet trying to get closer to this top 5. Smith drafting diligently off of the number 88 of Nick Gowan. Let's ride along with Smith and see if he can make the pass. Can't make it stick for that first lap. The 15 of Jacob Smith still up 5 spots since the drop of the green flag. Brian Smith in the number 61 SRR Supra pulling out to a gap of 0.3 of a second over the rest of these leaders. Out of the 4th corner, single file for the most part. We'll see if there's any action in these first 10 laps so far. Bobby Reynolds in the number 10. Sitting in the 7th spot right now. He's got Jay Keffer behind him in the number 33. Lost 1 spot since the start of the green flag, but diligently managing those tires. And the lone Canadian in today's field, Adam Rowe in the number 84 Chevrolet. Rounding out that top 10, Jamie Haynes, 0.3 of a second behind. Chuck Mosley Jr. in the 89. He's driving behind Maurice Burnett in the number 2 Pepsi Chevrolet. Burnett chasing down Forrest Smith, who's made up 4 spots since the start of this race. Same with Sammy Harrell in the 43. Here's a couple of drivers, 12th and 13th respectively, that are doing their best to crawl up this field. Loving the old retro Amico logo on the front of Harrell's car as he now goes to the inside of Haynes. This the move for 11th. And he's got him in 1, but will he clear him out of 2? He's got the pass out of 2. Sammy Harrell into the top 11 now. Speaking of retro logos, talk about Maurice Burnett. You haven't seen a Pepsi logo like that since Jeff Gordon rocked it in the early 2000s. Chuck Mosley behind him in the 89. Jorge Rincon in the number 28 Goodwrench Chevrolet. No prizes for guessing who this livery used to belong to. The great Kevin Harvick being represented by Rincon in the number 28 Chevrolet, trying to crack that top 15 so far. Could be a struggle for Jorge, but lots of racing to go. We're only 13 laps into this race. Big shout out to the God Lee and who followed in the last 4 minutes here. Atlanta Racing hosting as well. WVU fan hosting or following in the last 30 minutes. Same with Sheris, J. Ray Suave, all following today. Kate cheering 100 bits as well. Ellie 1102 saying ouch in the chat. Ellie, let me know what happened if there's a wreck we missed. We want to catch up with everything we can possible. Gowan, however, falling off the front row, losing the most spots since this race started. Not sure if there's any issues going on with the 6th place number 88 car of Gowan. Only he and Connor Cunningham have lost equal amount of positions, 5 each. Meanwhile, Jacob Smith in the number 15 SRR Chevy. He's gained 5 spots since the drop of the green flag. Same with Sammy Harrell, who's sitting in 11th, rocking the number 43 Amico colors right now. Jamie Haynes, however, in the 53 car, losing 9 spots since the start of this race. Possibly Haynes trying to save resources, but early on it seems unlikely. Bama Trama in the chat says, hey Rick, Mama Vols. Love you so very, very much. Glad to have you here. Laps now underway. Brian Smith still in front and now pulling away to the tune of 1 second over Tristan Bailey, who's put his number 24 in second place. Here's the look from behind that 24. Rocking the TJ's team, or the morethancape.org Chevrolet with the very familiar 24 that Jeff Gordon made famous. Schur behind him in the number 18 Supra. Bailey being sandwiched between a couple of those Toyotas, and then it's Chevrolets all the way down with Smith and Martin rounding out the top 5. There's the 88 of Gowan, finally got his feet back under him. Gowan to the inside of Martin. Nick Gowan back into the top 5. Down the back straight now, the number 88 Chevrolet with Cole Martin just behind him. Bobby Reynolds moving up into the 7th spot in that number 10 car. Harrell, he's up 6 spots now since the start of the green flag, and Harrell has Joel Conley in his sights now. Love this gyro cam. Genuinely one of my favorite things to see on iRacing. Just so interesting. Taking it from the driver's perspective as if you were in VR. A fun angle to watch this race from. And now we're watching the 61 of Brian Smith, who's just pulled away with this lead. Tristan Bailey not able to keep up at all in the number 24, still rocking the 2nd spot, but by 1.5 seconds, and half a second behind is Jacob Smith in the 15. Toyota, Chevy, your top 3. Smith, who's up 6 spots since the start, has been diligently chasing down Bailey. Let's take a look and see what it's looked like over the last 6 laps. There's the gap between Smith and Bailey. Smith on the left in 3rd place, Bailey on the right in 2nd. Coming this time by as Smith has been inching closer to Tristan Bailey. What will the gap show this time by? Jacob Smith just barely slower than Bailey, but gaining that time now. Brian Smith, however, up ahead in the lead. If we show the gap between him and Bailey, Bailey slowly clawing that gap back, but there you see one of the last 6 laps completely in Brian Smith's favor. So Tristan Bailey almost stuck in a world of limbo here. 1.5 seconds behind the leader and a dwindling half-second gap between 2nd and 3rd place Jacob Smith right behind him. But what will it mean for these tires? If we do go green the entire way, it's going to take heavy and smart management to go to the end. Nick Gowan managing himself into the 5th position. Right now we're with Connor Cunningham riding in the 16th spot in the number 3 Chevrolet. He's brought this car back from the dead. He was 2nd to last just recently, overtaking Doug King in the number 67 Chevrolet. Jorge Rincon, Josh Hale, and Deb Hutchins all rounding out the top 20. Chuck Mosley Jr. trying to get closer to Maurice Burnett. Burnett being held up by the 84 of Adam Rowe. Rowe just on the edge of the top 12, and you can see the appreciable gap between Rowe and Haynes, a full 3.2 seconds between them. There's Haynes out of 4. There's Rowe just entering 4 now. Will Adam Rowe be able to hold on? Is Maurice Burnett burning the tires harder than he needs to? We're a quarter into this race, not a quarter of the way through. 2.5 quarter, not 25%. Big shout out to Rock NASCAR 388 as well. Rocky, love you, buddy. Glad to have you in this chat. Between him and Mama Vols, Rocky and Mama are 2 of the biggest fans I've got in Twitch, in my fandom. I absolutely love it so very, very, very much. Rocky, glad to have you here, pal. Big heart for you. At the front, Brian Smith pulling away by 2 seconds, but is it too hard, too fast for the number 61 SRR Supra? Will he be able to hold on? He's catching up to lap traffic at the moment. Tristan Bailey, however, no time to breathe. He's got Jacob Smith right up his trumpet. Is Smith just riding along, or will he be able to set Bailey up for a pass? Smith looking to the inside of Bailey. Bailey doing plenty of mirror driving, and Brian Smith at the front, loving this as his lead increases to almost 2.5 seconds, 28 laps into this race. Nick Gowan, however, also coming through back into the top 4 now as he fell out of the top 5. Connor Cunningham also on the move. He's in lucky number 13th position, taking the number 3 Chevrolet up into that top 13. Mo Bennett, who's 3/4 of a second ahead, lies just in front in the number 2 Pepsi Chevy. Big smoke up ahead. Did one driver completely lose it? Smoke just pouring out into that Charlotte sky. So far, no one slow up ahead. More smoke up ahead. Is a driver starting to lose it? One car coming down pit road. Forrest Smith already down pit road. Randy Bouquet in the number 29 Home Depot Chevy. He brings his car to a halt. What happened with Randy? Let's see if we can find out exactly what plagued him. There he is already smoking. Let's run this back and see if we can see what happened to the 29. Already smoking here. Did he just lose control? Big plumes of smoke. You look at that possible contact with the 61. Here's Brian Smith now getting up to Randy in the 29. Oh, Randy just hits the wall out of 2. Hits it again. Brian trying to avoid him, and it could have, look at that. Could have been catastrophe for the leader, Brian Smith. One more time from the cockpit view. How did he survive this? Look at this. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh man. He nearly hit that wall so hard. It's unbelievable. Brian Smith still leading by 2 seconds now. 2.3 seconds has dwindled, and Tristan Bailey now closing that gap in the chat. More Than a Cape says Tristan is probably running the long run strategy. We'll see if he can pull that one off, but he's got Nick Gowan right behind him again. Nick now in the podium positions once again. Number 88, Roll Smith Racing Chevrolet. You can see how close Jacob Smith is behind it, and there Tristan Bailey lies just ahead. This is second, third, and fourth, respectively, as you see them run. Edward Shearer in the 18 Supra, rounding out that top 5 with a fast approaching Cole Martin in the number 16 Chevy. Sits in 6th. Fans, if you have recently joined us, I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of PSES Round 5 from the virtual Queen City Charlotte Motor Speedway. If we do get a wreck or a caution, we are going to take a 60-second break. Keffer coming down pit road. Now green flag pit stops starting here in the first 30 laps. Deb Hutchins is down and away. She'll leave pit road 1 lap down in the 21st position. And now the question goes to the leaders. Brian Smith, Nick Gowan, Tristan Bailey, now your top 3 as the 88 overtakes Bailey for the silver medal spot. When will the leaders come in? Will the caution dictate their pit stop strategy? Great race so far, just shy of the 1/3 mark completed. Shearer still sitting 5th. Let's go to the best lap time so far. I want to see exactly who's put in just the best time, because it looks like many of these drivers are are incredibly close here as far as the fastest lap time that they can put in. You can see the leader Smith with a 30.85. Tristan Bailey so far the fastest time that I can see with a 30.69. Pretty nice lap there, but now we go back to Haynes in the 9th position. That's Jamie Haynes rocking the number 53 Exalta Chevrolet. Jamie with a 30.66. One of the fastest times of the night so far, but it's not how fast you can go, it's how consistent you can be. That last time around, Nick Gowan a full 4/10 quicker than Brian Smith, chasing him down, and the gap has now dwindled inside of 2 seconds. Josh Hale coming down pit road in the number 20 car, coming to a smoking entrance down pit road. Hopefully no penalties. The 88 of Gowan. That last time by, only a 10th quicker than Smith, is Gowan now backing down. We expected this race to be about 40 to 50 laps on a pit window, slightly less than that this time around, but no worries. There you see 173 miles will be the scheduled distance of tonight's race. 115 laps on offer. Smoke being kicked up from the pit area. Checking on with Connor Cunningham, who's moved up 9 spots since the race started. Took the car to stone dead last, losing about 4 spots after he started 18th. Now in the 9th position, cracking the top 10 for the first time today just as pit stops are getting started. Is there something Cunningham knows that the rest of us certainly don't know? Shearer and Smith, who's that going through the grass right there that looks like the 28 of Rincon? No, not Jorge at all. Completely missed that one. No idea who was flying through the grass there. Steve Harris in the Bass Pro Chevrolet now coming out. Brian Smith has decided to give up his lead. There's Smith getting tires and fuel. New leader at Charlotte, Nicky Gowan. Now Gowan coming down pit road. Will Bailey follow him? He does. Shearer now to the sole undisputed lead in the Napa Know-How. 18 Supra to the point. That last time by, Shearer a 32.71, and he has an impressive lead over Gowan, who's still down pit road. There's Nick Gowan coming to his stall to get his services, driving through the smoke, coming to a halt right there. And it's a long, long wait for these drivers. When does Shearer come in? Has he waited too long? The 18 slowing down at a rather pedestrian rate, not attacking the pit lane as often as you'd like, but he comes flying down pit road. Was it too fast for the 18 of Shearer? Gowan's down and away, now to the inside of Rincon, overtaking him out of pit road. Possibly a slow stop for Jorge Rincon, who leaves pit road in the 20th position. 1 lap down, waiting for the stops to cycle back around. There's Brian Smith, who was the leader when the green flag pit stops started. He sits in second, 35 seconds behind Ed Shearer, who's down. Is it a penalty for Shearer? No, there goes the left side. Here goes Smith down the front straight. Brian Smith, once again, new leader. More Than a Cape saying, I just checked in with the MTC Esports guys. We are good. I'm glad we're good with the MTC Esports guys. There is Brian Smith on the outside of the 89, trying to put Chucky Mosley Jr. another lap down. Going to the outside, but now he's got the 2 of Mo Bennett, who's pinching him down in the dog leg. The 61 of Brian Smith survives the pinch from Mo Bennett, and he stays in the lead uninterrupted. No contact there. Mo Bennett in the 15th spot goes a lap down, and that leaves Deb Hutchins in the 14th position. The last car on the lead lap in the number 82 Mustang. Connor Cunningham, who made the biggest improvement from that last stint, now sitting in the 12th spot, 6 spots up since the green flag, but he hasn't advanced as much as Sam Harrell, the number 43 Amico Chevrolet, sitting in 6th, 10 spots up since the start of this race. And here, well, and we just missed it, Sam Harrell There he is. He's behind that 54 car, it looks like, the 54 of Michael Kenzel, who's battling up ahead with the 28 of Jorge Rincon. This not for position. There's Rincon right there. There's Kenzel, who's getting out of the way of the 43 car. That's Sammy Harrell, who's got the 10 of Bobby Reynolds right behind him. This is a close fight for 6th. Does Reynolds have anything? Does he want to burn his tires, considering how early some drivers were coming down pit road? Caution is out. Yellow flag is out for the first time today. First caution is out after Mo Burnett has a crash. There you see the smoke billowing down the front straight. Where is the 2 of Mo Burnett? There he is, slow on the inside of turn number 1. And let's find out what happened with the number 2 Pepsi Chevrolet. To the inside of that 89 car there. Mo just getting on the apron and slams the 89 right into the outside wall. What in the world happened with Mo? Let's have one more look coming inside to turn 3. Chuck Mosley on his outside with just nowhere to go. Mo just sends it in too deep and bam! One more time from the cockpit view. Let's take a look from Mo Burnett's view, and then we'll see what happened with Chucky Mosley. You can already see he was overcorrecting at that point. And that's all he could do, just hang on. He is a passenger there. Poor Chucky Mosley. You can already see the damage from the inside of the car. Let's have another look at Mo Burnett and see how Chucky Mosley could have avoided this, if at all. Nothing. Nothing you could do. Wrong place, wrong time. A bit of overzealous steering by Mo Burnett in the moment. And now 2 cars that are wrecked, trying to get their repairs. Brian Smith leading this one. Is he saving fuel with how low he's taking his line? Let's see if we can bug Brian Smith for a minute and see how his race is going for him so far. And we probably won't be able to bug Brian Smith. You can't find him in the chat, but that's quite all right. Nick Gowan sitting in that 2nd spot. Let's bother Nick and see how his race is going so far. Nick Gowan, it's Rick James in the booth. You got me, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
Nick, you're rocking an incredibly nostalgic number 88 Chevrolet. We saw you drop out of the top 5, almost the top 10 after starting on the pole. But here you are behind the 61 of Brian Smith. We're almost halfway into this race. Do you have a winning car, or is it still too early to tell?
I definitely believe I have a winning car underneath me. Won a race, another league race here not too long ago, so I'm feeling really, really good. The long run is what I want. If we can get another long run here, I think I can reel Brian in. Brian's really, really fast. He's a hard guy to keep up with, but I think we can get him on the long run.
We heard earlier today in practice that tires are going to make that difference, and we expected that pit window to go between 40 and 50 laps, but we saw drivers coming in earlier than that. Is it the tires that will go that far, or do you have to worry more about fuel mileage?
It's definitely more important on tires here. I mean, it's just too long for it to be a one stopper for fuel. So you got to short pit the fuel a little bit and just get the most out of your tires. Granted, I mean, a couple laps difference between tires is a tenth or 2 a lap, so that can definitely add up on the long run. And but fresh tires are king here, so we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens indeed, but the most important question that anybody's going to ask you all night, Nick Gowan, what is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
I like Rocky Road, personally. It's
Rocky
got a little
Road.
bit of everything. Yes, sir.
You know, that's a good one. I'm not the biggest Rocky Road guy. I'm 1,000 years old, and I like to be boring, so I like vanilla with a bunch of toppings, but, you know,
there you go.
I got to go get some Rocky Road. Anyway, hopefully you get some victory ice cream at the end of the race. Best of luck, Nick.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Nick Gowan likes Rocky Road ice cream. I wonder what that says about his driving style. At the front, Brian Smith still leads this race. Lights are out on the pace car, so fans at home are going to take a quick 30-second break just to go ad-free for the next 10 minutes, and we'll be back to restart round 5 of PSES at Charlotte. Subscribers at home, if you are still within earshot, you are a subscriber to Rick James TV, and because of that, you get ad-free streaming. Isn't that cool? Thank you so much, though, honestly. Jokes aside, we can't do these races, these streams without you. Your streams keep us going week after week. And if you have subscribed, thank you so much for your ad-free streaming. Drop me a line. Let me know what more I could do to benefit my subscribers on Rick James TV. It is all about the fans, and especially those that put in their hard-earned money to subscribe. So thank you. Let me know what we could be doing better. Hit me up here on Twitch or on Twitter. Getting ready to get going one more time, and if you want to go ad-free, all you need to do is subscribe through Rick James TV, and you don't need to subscribe even through Twitch. If you have Amazon, subscribe through Amazon. Combine your Prime, combine your Twitch, get Prime Gaming, which gives you free loot on Red Dead Redemption, Apex, Fortnite, all sorts of games, Grand Theft Auto, and you get one free Twitch subscription every month. Make that Rick James TV. Enjoy the best racing in the world ad-free. Let's go racing one more time. Smith to the inside, Gowan to the outside. Green flag is out at Charlotte. Laps underway. Smith, Bailey, Gowan, your top 3. Toyota, Chevy. Already 0.4 of a second between first and second place. Smith and Bailey, Gowan dropping out a second into third. Jacob Smith in fourth, and Edward Shearer rounding out that top 5. Sammy Harold still eating up the positions. He's in the 9th spot right now. He's moved up 7 since the start, all over the back of Bobby Reynolds out of 4. Mo Burnett still in pit road, getting his repairs on that number 2 Pepsi Wild Cherry Chevrolet. Chuck Mosley, the same. Hopefully they get back out on this track before the night's over. Brian Smith pulling away to a half-second lead. Tristan Bailey now moving up into the 2nd spot. You just saw that off the restart there. Now here's Bobby Reynolds to the inside of Jason Keffer. This for 7th. Sammy Harrell going with him. So far, it's so good in these first laps after restart. Bobby Reynolds sitting in 7th, not flustered by Sammy Harrell behind him, both chasing down Cole Martin in the 6th spot. Jamie Haynes, who was doing so well before that first caution, now down 6 spots since the start of the green flag, but back into the top 10. Haynes finds himself in 9th. Fans at home, we're going to put a poll in there for you as well. We're going to ask you, what is your favorite flavor of ice cream? While these guys and girls are going around, let's see, what is your favorite flavor of ice cream? We're going to put in some options here. First time I've done PSES, we're going to ask them about ice cream all night. Let's say vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, you know what, we'll say mint and other. So we're going to put 10 minutes in the chat so you can answer this poll. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream? Vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, mint, or other? Let me know what you think. 10 minutes to go in that chat. Let me know what kind of flavor ice cream I should have tonight. How about that? At the front of this race, unsurprisingly, Brian Smith now breaking out to 3/4 of a second lead as we get closer to the 60 lap to go mark. Tristan Bailey still in the 2nd spot, but this time pulling a half-second gap between himself and Nicky Gowan. Jacob Smith in the 4th position. now has Ed Shearer all up his back trumpet and racing up the tailpipes of Cole Martin in 6th. Sammy Harrell now bothering the driver of the 16 for position. Martin drifting up the racetrack, listing lazily to the right, and now up 10 spots since the race started. Sam Harrell takes the number 43 Amoco Chevy into 6th. They call him Kool-Aid. Joel Conley in the number 62 Kool-Aid Chevrolet, rounding out that top 10. Conley in that top 10, trying to gain some points. He's trying to say, oh yeah, as he gets closer to the front of this one so far. Conley, however, not doing sensational in the points. He finds himself 32nd in points, running just a limited schedule this season, but a good run for Conley. So far, he sits 10th. Adam Rowe in the 84 standing on guard for his, I was about to say Queen and Country, but that's incorrect. Just country. I'm trying to make a Canadian national anthem pun, but I failed miserably. Anyway, Rowe sits in the 15th position. He's got Doug King behind him in the number 67 Chevrolet, and now Steve Harris trying to take the spot, looking to the inside of King. This for 16th. And that was the 67 of King that just hit the wall going into turn 1. So far, so good. No harm, no foul. King losing tons of momentum, but he will be able to make that back up. More Than a Cape says, should we do a giveaway? That is the question. More Than a Cape says other. Banana pudding, talking about ice cream there. Bama Trama says Moose Tracks as well. You know, I almost put Moose Tracks and Rocky Road in the same category. They're kind of similar. Not really, but as far as, you know, how you could classify ice cream, if there was a way to classify ice cream as the 84 of Conley goes into the wall. Oh, there goes the 84, has been collected again. That's Rowe in the 84 that's been collected. So far, so good. We stay green. Smith leading this race in the 61. No yellow flag so far. And we stay good. Let's see what exactly happened with Adam Rowe in the 84. It was contact from the 78 car. Let's run it back one more. And look at this. He collects Jorge Rincon. And there's the 2 of Mo Bennett that just slams into the 84 car. 4 cars involved in that one. No caution, and we keep it pushing. Brian Smith leading Tristan Bailey and Nick Gowan into 1. Jake Smith in 4th, and then Shearer all right behind him. That's the end of the top 5, and then it's 1.3 seconds. Back to Cole Martin in 6th. But 6th, 7th, and 8th, Bobby Reynolds and Sammy Harrell now all up the back of the 16. There's Edward Shearer in the number 18, Napa Know-How Supra. He gets around Jake Smith for 4th. Should probably vote my own poll. What do you think? Let's do that. So now Vanilla and Other tied for the poll lead. 40% of fans say they like Other. Now 50% of fans say they like Vanilla as their favorite flavor. You've got just over 5 minutes remaining in that poll. Drop your opinion and let me know what you think. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream? We are now officially past the halfway mark. If you've just joined us, I'm Rick James bringing you this 5th round of PSES with Brian Smith leading Tristan Bailey by almost 1 second out of 2. But now they're slowly reeling him in. Nick Gowan chasing down the 24 of Bailey. And the top 5 is starting to get a bit closer to that top 6. Cole Martin now within 1 second of 5th place, Jake Smith. Sam Harrell, who's lost a lot of ground there in the 43. He's now 1.2 seconds behind 7th place Bobby Reynolds, but Harrell still up 8 spots since the start of the race. Same with Deb Hutchins and Josh Hale. Hutchins making a resurgence since that pit stop. She's now up into lucky number 13th position, up 8 spots, as is Josh Hale in the Stars Spangled number 20 Ford Mustang to the inside of Jorge Rincon, who sits in the 18th position, 1 lap down. Mo Burnett rides 21st, 13 laps down in the Wild Cherry Pepsi Chevy, just trying to ride around, collect points so far. Bobby Reynolds now to the inside of Sam Harrell. Reynolds in the 7th spot, chasing down Cole Martin for position. There's Nick Gowan, who's now to the inside of Tristan Bailey. This for the 2nd position. Gowan making up time, chasing down the leader, Brian Smith. 66 laps into this race. It's 61, 88, 24. Toyota, Chevrolet, your top 3. There's Smith and the 8, almost now 9/10 of a second lead he's got over Gowan behind him into that 88 car. Tristan Bailey sitting in 3rd now with Ed Scherer right behind him. Ed Scherer comes into this race 2nd in points. He's got 132 points. Right now, he finds himself behind Jake Roll with 151. A decent gap between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Now, granted, we're only 4 races into the season. This is round 5, but it's never too early to start counting those points. Tristan Bailey in 4th. Michael Kinzel, who's running in the back of this race, he comes in 7th in points. So many spots to lose for Kinzel. Same with Hutchins, who comes in 10th in the points order. Mike Kinzel running 19th with so much work to make up. 2 laps down coming into this race, 10th in points. Deb Hutchins, however, on her job, up 8 spots since the start. She's sitting in 13th, chasing down Keffer in 12th. But look at the gap. There's 12th. There's 13th. An amazing difference between those two. Will we see them get closer? Been a nice race so far for Brian Smith, but now Nick Gowan behind him in the 88. Tristan Bailey in the 24 car sitting in 3rd, and this has been the status quo for the majority of the race so far. 69 laps complete, 70 now underway. 46 laps to go at Charlotte, and when will we see this 2nd pit stop? So far in our ice cream poll, other with 44% of the vote. Fans, you've got just a little more than a minute left to voice your opinion. Let us know, what is your favorite flavor of ice cream? Vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, mint, or other? We should see if we could get a race sponsored by an ice cream company. That'd be fantastic. Whatever the winning vote is, the winning driver gets that flavor of ice cream. I don't know. Cunningham. He's now on the move again. This time it's Cunningham and Harrell side by side. Cunningham passing Sammy Harrell for the 9th position. And Connor has been on his job as well. Again, letting that 3 car fall all the way to the back, but making up such an impressive drive so far that he finds himself climbing the spot just 1.2 seconds behind Kool-Aid Conley in the number 62. Bobby Reynolds in the number 10 car. He's behind Cole Martin in the 16, and you better believe that he's potentially saving resources, precious tires and fuel that will make a difference coming to the end of this race. Well, the fans have spoken. 56% of the vote going to chocolate ice cream. And you fans think chocolate is your favorite flavor. Other, with 22% of the vote. Vanilla coming in with 16% of the vote. Mint with 6. Strawberry with 0. Apparently nobody here likes strawberry ice cream. Hey, that's fine. I'm not a fan either. Strawberries are not really my favorite. I wonder what Brian Smith's favorite flavor of ice cream is. 7/10 of a second, the gap between first and second. Brian Smith ahead of Nick Gowan as Jorge Rincon comes down pit road. Could this be the beginning of green flag pit stops? Deb Hutchins also coming down for tires and fuel. There's Brian Smith at a turn number 4, and green flag pit stops have indeed started with 41 laps remaining in this race. We were talking to Nicky Gowan earlier today, and he said the tires will not go 40 laps. So how long will they go, Nick? When will you need to come in? Will this be the final pit stop these drivers make today? Only time will tell. One more caution, of course, could throw everything out the window. Jake Smith rounding out the top 5 in the 15 car. He's been diligently following Tristan Bailey in the 24, but he just can't quite get up to him as Chris Fathke decides to come down pit road. Cole Martin behind him in the 16, biding his time. Tristan Bailey just sticking to that top 4, not really going anywhere. Ellie1102 says, I like all ice cream. I don't discriminate. Well, I do. There's some flavors of ice cream I just don't like. And some of them, feel free to hate me, are mint-based. I'm not the biggest fan of mint ice cream, and I don't know why. That hasn't been me. Just give me regular chocolate chip ice cream. Keep the mint out. I wonder if Tristan Bailey likes mint ice cream, but that's not important. Now inside the final 40 laps, Bailey 1 second ahead of Jake Smith. 1.5 seconds ahead of Jake Smith, now out of the second corner. And the fight for the lead now getting interesting with Brian Smith losing all that advantage to Nicky Gowan in the 88. Is Gowan going to attempt the pass? They do have one more pit stop to make. Gowan would do well to save his resources and just tighten the pressure on Brian Smith up at the front, but still so much racing to go. We're approaching 36 laps remaining. Next time by, Nick told us earlier, it would be a question of tire strategy. How long will it last? Chucky Mosley coming to the pits. Is that it for the driver of the 89? Sitting in the 22nd position right now after being caught in that earlier accident. No activity coming from that 89 car. Hopefully that's not the end for Chuck Mosley. Scherer in the 18 falling behind by a half second to Nicky Gowan, while the lead at the front is shrinking inside of 3/10, coming to 35 laps to go in this 5th round of the season. Will it be Toyota, Chevy, Toyota, or does Nick Gowan have other plans? 35 to go. Bobby Reynolds sitting in 6th. He's got Joel Conley some distance behind him, and 1.9 seconds behind Joel Conley is Connor Cunningham. That number 3 Chevrolet hunting down Kool-Aid, just tenths at a time. Let's take a look and see what the difference has been over the last 6 laps. There you can see, and there's Cunningham who's coming down pit road, and that's just going to ruin everything that we were trying to look at right there. But Connor Cunningham decides to call it quits on the racetrack, moving up 9 spots since he started, as does the 61 of Brian Smith, who's decided to come down pit road. The last time we had green flag stops, Nick Gowan came in the lap after. Is it the same story here? It is not. Gowan will stay out for another lap. Scherer also behind him. Chevy, Toyota, Chevy, your top 3. Bobby Reynolds now moving in to the bronze medal spot. Joel Conley into 4th. Jamie Haynes in 5th. Sammy Harrell also staying out. Back at the front now. Gowan ahead of Scherer. Pit stops looming for all these drivers. Ellie telling me that mint is the best part of ice cream. Well, more mint for you, my dear. And now the question has to be, how much time are these drivers going to lose out on the racetrack while the rest of their competitors have fresh tires, but coming to 30 laps to go, not next time, but the time after. We'll see if it makes a difference in the strategy and how hard these drivers can drive these race cars. Only 6 cars yet to pit, with Brian Smith being the first car a lap down in the 8th spot. There's Brian Smith, who now moves up into the 7th position. Now everything is sorted out there. Only 2 Toyotas in the top 10. Everybody else rocking that bow tie. Brian Smith sitting in 7th. Edward Scherer in 2nd. But now here comes, well, no, that's not Bobby Reynolds, pardon me. That is the 67 car of Doug King, and that's the 88 of Gowan, who's coming down pit road. That's going to put Edward Scherer to the lead. Caution is out just as the 88 of Nick Gowan comes down pit road inside the final 30 laps. Yellow flag is out. Did Gowan make it? Did Gowan make it? Let's go back and take a look. Cole Martin had the incident. We'll go back and survey that in a moment. But when did the caution come out? Let's have a look. Take a look at the cockpit here. Take a look at the left-hand side. Watch for either the green lights or the red lights. Green, 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 green. And there's the red lights right there. Take a look. There's red lights. Nick Gowan coming in when pit road is closed. Watch on the left-hand side for the lights. There they flash red, and you can see Gowan tried to just woe it down into pit road, but nothing doing there. Ed Scherer now in the lead under caution. He's going to come down pit road for tires and fuel. Let's have a look at this accident here. I believe it started with Cole Martin. Oh, Martin well loose out of 2. No, he's coming back up on the racetrack. Everybody avoid him. Everybody avoid him. And they did, but what happened here where Kinzel also had a wreck in the 54? This is after the fact. Kinzel coming down. Oh, he gets the 61 of Smith. That was the leader, Brian Smith, who was just collected the 54 of Kinzel. Let's have one more look. Kinzel flying on the apron. This is before the caution comes out. Or no, right as the caution comes out. Kinzel also about to be collected by somebody else, I believe. There, oh man. Huge, huge wreck. Multiple cars involved. And now, what's going to happen to the 61 of Brian Smith? Seemingly slamming into the 54 of Kinzel, who was, for lack of a better phrase, idling on the inside of the apron. And that number 61, SRR Supra, is he in trouble inside what will be the final 25 laps of racing? Fans at home, this race brought to us by the good folks over at morethanAcape.org. Let me tell you about these good folks and the TJ's Team Foundation. TJ, this story centered around TJ, this wonderful, heroic little boy who had, unfortunately, a diagnosis that no parent should ever have to hear. Cries of help and encouragement, smile coming through on every treatment of pediatric cancer. And this story here and this website helps us end pediatric cancer. Children that deserve a lot more than just 4% of the funding they get from medical research. Folks, head to morethanAcape.org, learn about TJ's story, help fight cancer, help other families, and learn how you can be more than a cape to these brave heroes. MorethanAcape.org, you will be glad you checked out that website. Meanwhile, more pressing issues for the 61 of Brian M. Smith, making a little bit of contact with Tristan Bailey in the 24. Ed Shearer still being scored as the race leader, waiting for drivers to come around, get their laps back. More Than a Cape saying, "You the man?" Nah, just a fan, pal. But thank you. I appreciate you so very, very much. We're going to try and go ad-free to the end of the race here, folks. We're going to take a 60-second break, and then we'll be back for the green flag and the conclusion of round 5 at Charlotte. Don't go anywhere. Once again, subscribers of Rick James TV, thank you so very, very much. You make this so fun, and so much possibility comes from you subscribers. I hope you're having a good time, because I'm having a blast. This is the first PSES race that I've ever done. My big thanks over to Rico Suave, the folks over at morethanAcape.org, everybody that's just involved with this. Thank you so very, very much. Halm says, "Hey guys, hey Halm, glad to have you in the chat. Thank you so much for showing up. You came in at the right time here." Lights are out on the pace car. We're going to get rolling here, and we should be ad-free to the end of this race. However, the 18 car, Edward Shearer, has not pitted since pitted with the rest here on lap 86. So Shearer does have tires and fuel at the front of this race. Drivers like the 82 of Deb Hutchins not pitting since lap 73, so Deb's going to be at a stark disadvantage as we come to this green flag. The number 18 Napa Know-How Toyota of Ed Shearer to the inside. Bobby Reynolds to his outside in the number 10 Chevrolet. We're going to restart this race with 26 laps to go. Helm 34 says, "Right on," and she's hyped. I'm hyped. Green flag is out, and let's do this again. Tristan Bailey in the 24 car, running in the 8th position, trying to make up spots in the TJ's Team Foundation car. Now to the inside of Brian Smith, who just recently collected Mikey Kenzel in the 54 Mellow Yellow car when he was just idling and seemed to lose control. One car smoking up ahead. Is it a spin out in turn 2? So far, so good. Is that the 78 on the inside that is in... No, that's not Steve Harris. One car slow to the inside there. We'll see who that was. Brian Smith in 8th now, falling off the pace. Heavy damage to that number 61 car. How much of a handful is it for Brian? Shearer leading Haynes, and one of the biggest contenders to win this race, Brian Smith, effectively taken out. Unless another caution comes out and Smith can repair this car, but it seems unlikely. Smith now holding on for a dear life. Now Kool-Aid Conley to his inside. Connor Cunningham next on the list. Cunningham next to take the spot there from Brian Smith. Cunningham to the inside. Smith hurting now to stay in the top 10, and it doesn't seem likely. Deb Hutchins and Josh Hale next on that list to take spots from Brian Smith. At the front, Jamie Haynes glued to the back of Ed Shearer, coming to 21 laps to go. Next time by. More Than a Cape saying, "Let's go Bailey." Run him down. Cheering on the 24 of Tristan Bailey, running in the 7th position, chasing down Sam Harrell, who's in 6th, but Harrell has been on a tear since the restart. Been more of a long run car for Sam Harrell, but now coming to the final 20 laps, Next time by, perhaps Harold can show us a little bit of magic. He's looking to crack the top 5 for the first time today. Jake Smith, next on his list. Smith now chasing down Nick Gowan, who looked like he got loose into turn 3. Gowan, the other race-winning contender who prophesized about tires being all important. Gowan, who last pitted on lap 85, just 1 lap prior to Scherer. Sitting in the 4th position now as we have a battle for second. Here's Jamie Haynes to the inside of Bobby Reynolds. Haynes to the inside, looking for the second spot. Reynolds up ahead in the 10. Haynes not able to clear Reynolds out of turn number 4. Haynes making contact with that turn 4 wall. Here goes Nicky Gowan to his inside. Here comes Jacob Smith for 4th. Side by side for the 4th spot. Haynes able to hang on momentarily, but here comes Smith down the back straight into 3. Smith able to clear Haynes for the 4th position. Nick Gowan now in the bronze medal spot, 17 to go. Next time by, Bobby Reynolds chasing down Nick Scherer to the tune of half a tenth a lap. Where has Reynolds been all race long? Will he make this one count? The last 6 laps, Scherer has been just slightly quicker than Bob Reynolds. Reynolds having a blink there. Hopefully that's not his internet connection coming to uncertainty in these last 16 and a half. Sam Harrell up in the 10th spot, getting closer to Jamie Haynes in the 5th position. The number 53 Chevrolet falling off the pace. Haynes did make contact with that outside turn 4 wall, and it looks like Haynes possibly suffering the same fate as Brian Smith. Leading the majority of the laps tonight, but you can see the damage on that SRR car. I wonder what the 54 car could be thinking now. Michael Kinzel running in 16th. A couple of laps down, you can see just the extreme damage to the outside of his car. What would have been for Brian Smith had he not made contact? We'll never know. Bobby Reynolds 0.4 of a second behind. Eddie Scherer coming to 14 laps to go. More Than a Cape says been a good race, and I agree. It's been a fantastic event so far. 14 next time by. Nick Gowan just eating the time between himself and the lead. Gowan coming into this race well behind in the points. He could use a great boost like this. As I'm reading these points, I genuinely think this is Nick Gowan's first race in the season tonight, or he may not be scored in the points, but no matter. Lucky number 13, laps to go in the race as they run. Scherer, Reynolds, Gowan, your top 3, a dozen laps remain. Next time by. More Than a Cape says, it looked like the 54 was going to pit and panicked when the caution came out. Very well may be, to be honest. Who knows? Helm hosting 8 minutes ago with a viewer. Thank you, Helm. And Alpha, Michael freaking York. How are you, pal? He's hosting the show as well. I need to send this guy a message. I haven't talked to him in forever, but I'm loving the fact that he's hosting the show. 11 laps to go. Next time by. Deb Hutchins now up 10 spots since the drop of the green flag. She's now battling for position. Brian Smith next on her list. There's Smith in the 61 car. Now exiting turn 2. There's the biggest difference right there. Smith, the last car on the lead lap. Hutchins, the first car, 1 lap down. So she's going to have to pray for a caution to get up on Smith's level and take him for that top 10. Good run so far for Hutchins, despite being mired in some traffic. 10 to go next time by. Eddie Shearer now leading by 1 1/3 seconds as Nick Gowan is comfortably ahead of Jake Smith. And there's the difference. Shearer has been quicker every single of the 6 laps ahead of Gowan. If we were to put that in terms of sectors, got the wrong direction there. This time by, Shearer quicker in that first sector. Will he be quicker in the second sector? Smith giving Gowan a run for his money. 9 to go this time. Shearer quicker in all sections of the racetrack. His lead almost expanding to 1.5 seconds. Jake Smith to the inside of Nick Gowan for second. Out of turn number 2, the SRR Chevy to the inside of the Rolls Smith Racing 88. Smith to the inside. Will he make it stick out of 4? This for the silver medal spot. Coming to 8 to go. They almost make contact. Smith clears. He's now sitting in second. Nicky Gowan in third, but will he stay there? Ed Shearer, will this 1 3/4 second lead hold for the next 7.5 laps? Bobby Reynolds, what happened to him? So close to the front, now falling off at an alarming pace. Jamie Haynes in the 53, rounding out the top 5, and Sammy Harrell now looking to get his top 5 spot. That number 43 Amico Chevrolet up 10 spots since the start of this race. Same with 11. Both of these drivers putting on a performance. There's Harrell chasing down Haynes bit by bit. That gets just a little closer as the laps tick down. Ed Shearer losing a little more as the laps come down. Jake Smith getting closer to the 18 of Shearer. Will it be enough? 5 to go next time by, and you can see Shearer just ultimately quicker than Smith every single time. That last time by across the line, you can see Shearer was quicker by 6/100ths of a second, but the gap between them stagnant at 1.7 seconds. There's Nick Gowan in third. There's third. There's first. 5 laps to go in the Queen City. That last time by, Shearer with a 32.45. Smith with a 32.39. So Smith quicker by 6/100ths of a second, but it just isn't enough. Coming to 4 to go next time. Meanwhile, Sammy Harrell chasing down Jamie Haynes. This for the final top 5 position. Harrell to the outside, chasing down Haynes in the 53, rounding turn 3. 4 to go this time by. Harrell trying to get those ever precious points. That looks like Mo Burnett, who's slow to the inside. He is indeed slow. Look at that. Taking a very, very slow line. And, you know, you got to give him credit. He's staying well out. He's staying well out of drivers that are racing for the spot here, but now Nicky Gowan sends it to the inside of Jake Smith, bouncing off that blue line. Gowan's gonna wash up the racetrack. 3 laps now remaining. Shearer, Smith, Gowan. 2.14 seconds the lead now for Ed Shearer in the number 18 Napa Know How Toyota. It'll be 3 miles remaining next time by. Will he be able to hang on to this lead? Nicky Gowan in the 88. He'll get another crack at second. Jamie Haynes holding off Sammy Harold, coming to 2 laps to go. Bobby Reynolds in 4th, 2 seconds ahead of Jamie Haynes. Nick Shearer leading by over 2 seconds. When will Nick Gowan get another opportunity to take the spot? Alpha York says RSR 123, let's go. Volsfan 88 putting a, what is that, a crown emoji in there? Oh, a 2020 victory. I like that. That's interesting. White flag now in the air. Ed Shearer leading this race over Jake Smith and Nicky Gowan. Jamie Haynes just ahead of Sammy Harold. This for the 5th position. Shearer leading this one after 115 laps of battling in the Charlotte night. It's going to be Eddie Shearer in the number 18 Napa Supra who gets the round 5 win at Charlotte. Out of the 4th corner, Jacob Smith just beats Nicky Gowan to the line. It's going to be a race for 5th, and it's going to be Jamie Haynes holding off Sammy Harold in 6th. Debbie Hutchins going to finish 11th. Or 10th, I'm sorry, moving up 11 spots. 11 spots since the green flag flew. And what a run for this driver right here. Eddie Shearer in the number 18 Napa Know-How Supra getting the win at Charlotte. Fans at home, don't go anywhere. We're going to have top 3 to the booth for our podium interviews. And a smoke show there. A couple of cars with having a smoke show there. Number 3 of Connor Cunningham getting in the way of Ed Shearer's celebration. No matter, Shearer still throwing up a fun smoke show to watch. Rock NASCAR putting in his congratulations. Ellie putting in her number 1 emojis as well. Halm 34 with some PSES emojis in there. Bama Trama with some trophies and a great, great run for the number 18 of Ed Shearer. Fans at home, don't go anywhere. We're going to have top 3 interviews in just a moment. All right, who? Now on the podium for top 3 interviews, starting with the number 88 of Nick Gowan. Nicky, great run today, my friend. You said tires were going to determine how this race played out. And for you, you managed that rubber well, and you got a bronze medal out of it.
Yeah, I was very felt very strong on the long runs, and unfortunately, that last caution just came out at the exact wrong time. I mean, I'd already committed to pit lane, and it was either that or put myself in the wall. So, but yeah, tires they made a difference. I mean, was using the brake a little bit, definitely saved that right front, and it's all about the corner exit and just being able to hold that speed. through the corner and off the corner instead of having to lift. But yeah, tires definitely played a key role, as well as track position. So
Well, they won't play as big a role next week at Daytona, but you're going to head into the Super Speedway with a chip on your shoulder. Congratulations on that third place, Nick.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Now to our silver medalist, Jake Smith. Jake, what a run for you in that 15 car up until the 61 of Brian Smith was eliminated from contention. You were kind of hanging out in the shadows, but once the opportunity shown itself, you were there fighting for that win.
Yeah, it was definitely a hard-fought battle the entire race. It was kind of like Nick said, it was definitely a tire game, and made a late call to go into the pits, use my last set of tires on that last yellow, and I think it was the only thing that kind of kept me in contention, and was able to get P2 out of it.
And a silver medal headed into Daytona. Nothing bad to look at. Only 5 rounds into this race. A good point day for you as well. Congratulations, Jake.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and I just want to thank all the guys over at SRR, where we like to win. Second place is okay, but we also got some good sponsors. We got Bush Apple, Sheets, Diet Mountain Dew, and of course, our good painter, Brian Smith, where he does all of our paints for free. They are amazing.
Big shout out to SRR. And before we get to the winner, let's talk about one more time the folks that bring us this race, morethanacape.org and TJ's Team Foundation. The nonprofit, or as it's known, the 501c3, helps families with children suffering through pediatric cancer, taking care of their necessities in any way possible. You also can be more than a cape for these heroes suffering through this tragedy. Go on their website, learn about TJ's story, and see what you can do to help be more than a cape with TJ's Team Foundation at morethanacape.org. And now the winner, driver of the number 18 Napa Know-How Toyota Supra, Eddie Shearer. You've got tonight's gold medal. How did you pull that off?
Luckily the caution didn't really help us there. The pit strategy was a little off key there. I was planning on pitting once the lap after the caution came out, so that kind of played into our favor a little bit with the fresher tires and stuff. Unfortunately, what happened with Brian, in my opinion, he had the best car the whole night, and should have been the one celebrating the win, but I mean, you can take these any way you can get them. I mean, it's really hard to get them in this league and many other leagues, as people should know. It's harder to get wings in iRacing. It's basically tire dependent, caution dependent, driver dependent, whatever you call it. But I mean, I'm just really happy to get this 18 Napa Auto Parts Toyota Supra in victory lane. I love the scheme. I love Napa and appreciate everything they do. Unfortunately, I'm not sponsored by them. I wish I was. It would be great, but I mean, it's awesome to get a win for Napa any day of the week, and yeah, today just turned out to be our day.
One win at a time, Ed, and will it be 2 in a row next week at Daytona?
I mean, hopefully. I mean, we got 2 now in the season. I mean, I'm pretty good at restrictor plates and all, but we never know with Super Speedways. Anything can happen. You can be terrible at Super Speedway and get a win, or you could be good and not get the win. It's pretty much up to favors and everything that goes on, and a lot of team development and stuff. So should be interesting, but we'll see what we can do.
We'll take a look in 7 days' time, but until then, congratulations on that win, Ed.
Thank you very much.
Fans at home, that's going to do it for us today. Another PSES chapter goes in the books. Next Friday night, they're going to race round 6 at the Daytona International Speedway. Cannot wait for that. Until then, be sure to give us a follow on Instagram, Twitter, right here on Twitch. Drop me a line. Let me know how you're doing. But most importantly, thank you for coming through today. For Kate, Volsfan, Helm34, Mama Vols, Rocky, Ellie, everybody that showed up. Alpha York, who was hosting that stream today. Special Ed, who gave some love in the chat as well. Everyone, thank you. Love having you guys here. We'll see you next week. And until then, stay safe. Take care of each other, and we will see you